So my name is Nate Lohs. Today I'm going to talk about a problem that may be considered minuscule by many. By a show of hands, how many of you wash your hands after every single trip to the bathroom? Okay, so you can see how this can easily seem like it's a very small problem. In actuality though, hand washing affects every one of us. In developing countries, this problem is very apparent. Lohs-Handwashing.org proposes that there are principal carriers, the hands are principal carriers of germs that cause disease. Every year in developing countries, diarrheal diseases and pneumonia kill roughly 3.5 million children under the age of 5 years old. It is said that if more people were to wash their hands in these countries, that millions of these deaths could be prevented. So as you can see, just by washing your hands more often, you can greatly reduce the risk of spreading germs. Today, I hope to persuade each of you to continue or begin washing your hands after every trip to the bathroom. Okay, so almost every day on campus, I see people that leave the bathroom without washing their hands. Some of these people are even exiting the stalls in the men's room rather than just using a urinal. So this indicates that some people have lengthy trips to the bathroom and still choose not to wash their hands after leaving. After doing some research on this, it became obvious that younger people seem to be the guiltiest of all. According to the Minnesota Department of Health, 97% of females and 92% of males say that they wash their hands. It's also stated that 75% of females and 58% of males actually wash their hands, despite how they may answer that question. So there's a good chance that the person sitting next to you today has not washed their hands yet. As you decrease the age interviewed, this number severely drops. The Minnesota Department of Health also indicates that 50% of middle and high school students say that they wash their hands, but only 33% of females and 8% of males use soap while washing their hands. So this it is apparent that this habit starts at a very young age. So next, I will discuss what you can do to change this. You can easily help to decrease the amount of germs you are spreading by just merely washing your hands. Like I mentioned earlier, some people choose to just rinse their hands with water. Lohs-Handwashing.org delves into some really convincing reasons not to do this. I'll quote their website. Fecal pathogens lodge in the natural oils of hands, and water alone will not dislodge them. Using soap adds to the time spent washing, but it removes the oils carrying most germs and leaves hands smelling pleasant. Next, this is for those of you who are wondering about the recommended way to wash your hands. The Massachusetts Department of Health and Human Services lays out some pretty simple steps for effective hand washing. As you can see here, step 1, wet hands. Step 2, apply soap and rub for 20 seconds. Step 3, rinse. Step 4, dry with a paper towel. And finally, they recommend using the paper towel to turn the faucet off. Okay, hopefully knowing how simple this process is will motivate all of you to do this more regularly. So although I have talked extensively about washing your hands after bathroom trips, there are many other instances when washing your hands is recommended. The CDC states that you should wash your hands when preparing food, before eating, after blowing your nose, touching garbage. There's also many other items listed that they recommend. By adhering to these recommendations, you will help to protect yourself and others from illnesses such as the diarrheal diseases and pneumonia, along with many others. So if you find yourself in a situation without soap and water, then the recommended alternative is to use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. So I encourage each of you to continue washing your hands regularly. I also encourage all of you to pass this information on to others. As stated by Lohs-Handwashing.org, hand washing with soap is the vaccine that prevents infections. Although washing hands can seem like it's a nuisance, in the end it will ultimately help to prevent other annoyances in the